from our heart, living from our core, living from our power, we all get more. We are powerful women.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Alignment Summit. I'm Sue Erda. I'm the host for this event, and I'm also the publisher at Powerful You Publishing. So I have the extreme honor of interviewing these 20 authors who are the co-authors of the book, Women Living in Alignment, that launches November 2nd, which is an awesome book. And the subtitle of the book is Embracing the Heart, Soul, and Energy as One. And so that's what the stories are about. That's what these women are about. They understand the importance of alignment in their lives and how they've gotten into alignment, gotten out of alignment, and how to stay in alignment. And so that's what they share with their clients. That's what they're going to share with you today, is how you can also be in alignment in your own life. And so today I'm going to interview Paris Moghtader. She is one of the co-authors. She's an amazing woman. Her title for today is really good. I like this a lot. Living from a place of your empowered Shakti. So before I get started talking with you, I will read a bio and then we'll get right into our interview. Paris Moghtader is a healer who combines mindfulness, Hakomi somatic therapy, and Ayurvedic techniques to help people heal their bodies and minds and grow into their dharma, also known as their purpose. As a child growing up in war-torn environments, Paris experienced trauma from an early age and learned how to expand beyond its impact to live her life with balance, fulfillment, and ease. Navigating through her own experiences taught her how to take others on their own journeys and develop empowering practices that help them expand past physical, mental, and emotional challenges to feel safe, aligned, and motivated by purpose. And Paris, here we are together. I'm excited to talk with you.
I'm very excited as well, Sue.
Great. So to get started, I would love for you to tell our audience a little bit about your own personal journey and how you got to where you are today.
Oh, yes. Thank you for asking that. As you said in the bio a little bit, I was born and grew up in Iran and moved to Canada when I was 17 years old. And that's where my kind of like my healing journey started. When I went to university in a small town in Ontario, and I just started doing yoga on regular basis. And I remember that looking in the mirror, I would just see my body shaking. And about a month or two later, after practicing yoga on a regular basis, I looked at myself and I thought, oh my God, I'm not shaking anymore. You know, there's like all this strength that has been developed. And then I started, really going with that flow of noticing how my body and my mind became stronger and stronger. And that's how my healing journey began. After that, I decided to open a yoga studio. So after university, I moved to a place where they needed a yoga studio open. And ever since I've been growing that community and also just, studying myself and growing myself through that journey. And it's just been one thing after another. The yoga led me to Ayurveda. I studied Ayurveda until I became an Ayurvedic practitioner, which is, by the way, the naturopathy that comes from India. So it's a very ancient, beautiful wisdom that has always been hand in hand with yoga. So it's always been the science part of the yoga that we don't really hear in the West much about, but now it's kind of becoming more and more popular. And then as I started seeing my clients, I realized that I needed to have something more than just the Ayurvedic techniques, in a sense that bringing Eastern and Western techniques together, which led me to study psychology. So yeah, it's like all of my journey has led me to this point where I feel really, finally, I found my dharma, and I'm really using that knowledge and my experiences to help all those other, mostly women, to also find their place of empowerment and their dharma or purpose.
Beautiful. I love that. So how many years is it that you've been, you started studying yoga, and then whenever you started working with clients, how many years has that been now?
It's been about 15 years.
15. Wow, that's a lot. So you've worked with a lot of clients over those years. Would you say that there are some common obstacles or blocks that people come up against that they look to you to help them with?
Oh, yes, absolutely. That's a great question because I find that that's why I said women. I find that I do have clients that are men, of course, and they're so lovely, and they men could also go through this, but I find that a lot of women that come to me, they're givers. They just they just take care of everybody else in their life. They energetically, financially, with all of their power, they take care of their families, their friends, their workplace. And then, years and years go by and they start feeling like they get either sick or they get really resentful towards their partners or their children or their co-workers whom are not giving back enough, and they often find me when they're either in that exhaustion place or they're in a place of what is happening here. There's this cycle of me giving and giving and not receiving in return, and I don't understand why. And so I find that that's a really big theme for these women to realize and recognize that they're trying to give from an empty place, and that how that is affecting them, how it's affecting their health and well-being and their financial situation, and in the end, not having that place of empowerment in their personal lives or in their family lives or at work. So I often start by taking them through that kind of journey back to see where things have started and why they're in a place that they are, if that makes any sense.
So it sounds like many of these what I think of self-worth. So let's talk about that, the self taking care of myself so that I may help others as well, but also just for my own well-being. So tell us about self to resolve these challenges that women have with self-worth.
Yes, it's absolutely, it all goes back to our self-worth. If you look at our society, we often live in societies that do not teach us from the beginning. When we're little girls, we're told, oh, be nice or take care of your friends or share. No one really at schools or at home has the education or the knowledge. There is that happening a little bit now, but back then in our generation and generations before, no one ever says, oh, you're so, that like, here's building up your self-worth, because our self-worth is built when we're children. It starts building then. And so what happens is, as women, we often think that our self-worth is in taking care of others or in sharing or in giving everything that is ours away. And so I always tell my women, give, but give from a place of abundance, give from a place of overflow, give from a place where you have so much, and there's so much beauty and abundance and so much energy that it overflows from you. Don't give from a place of lack and from a place of lacking energy and your self-choice and your rights and your, money and all of that. And then expect from others around you to rise up to your level and give back to you, because that creates a lot of resentment, and that is not nice for us or for the others around us in our life. So to find that self-worth, I find that really we all have it, by the way, Sue. It's not something that we're going to go out there and chase for. It's something that we're born with. We all have that inner power, that inner wisdom, that, how inside of you there's like this intelligence is like I know this food is good for me, and I know this food is not good for me. Like I know sugar is not good for me. I have that intelligence inside of me to know that. But often we lose track of how the strength of being able to make the right choices. And so that is the process between that intelligence and wisdom within us that we're born with. And because of all the stuff that happened in our lives and all the kind of things that happen to us, we lose track of making the right choices. And this process is all about connecting that with our actions, with our behaviors, so that we can, instead of putting our identity and our worth in other people, then we can start kind of finding that in ourselves and start to making it better and bigger and more beautiful, so that we can give from this place of abundance.
Yep, beautiful. And that's something I think that we often need to be reminded of. I don't have to do anything to be worthy. I'm born worthy. I was put on this planet for a reason. I have my dharma, and discovering dharma is important. I just want to ask you, what is your dharma? You said you're living your dharma. What is that?
Dharma is your purpose. And I often says, I have this meditation we do around how to find our dharma, and it's a process. But what I want you to think about in your life is, if there has ever been a time in your lives that you felt really connected, it's like this, for some, it's like playing an instrument. For others, it's teaching other people, or maybe you were writing a book, or something in your life that even when you were children, that you felt so happy and joyful, and you felt this immense amount of love and connection when you did that thing. And that's often your dharma, and if you find that that purpose and that dharma and follow it without questioning, how would I do that? Am I going to make money from that? How, and just leave that how to the universe and just follow that. Your job is to get to know what your dharma is and follow the path of that, and see where it leads you. And for me, I have done that in a sense that when I let go of my 9-to-5 job, and everyone thought I was crazy, and I started a yoga studio, and I started helping people, even in my business, just making sure that everyone can do yoga, and that every session is accessible to all, and just following that purpose that I knew that brought me light, that I knew brought me life and enjoyment and enthusiasm that I was excited about. I often tell my women, if it doesn't make you excited, don't do it. It's not your dharma. And
Yeah.
we each have our own very specific purpose, so it's all different for each and every one of us.
Yep, absolutely. And I think that in talking to people about purpose and living their life on purpose, and, are they excited about it? Do they enjoy what they're doing or not? Is it just a grind? Is it that day-to-day 9-to-5 kind of thing that they just do because they have to, So, as a woman and following your dharma, following your developing your self-worth and your desire to take up space in this world and be okay with that, how do you feel that Ayurvedic wisdom plays into that and supports that?
Yes. So Ayurveda, as I was saying, is a very specific science. It's specific to each person and each constitution, because Ayurveda is all about what is in nature, what is inside of us is a part of that nature, and how interconnected we are with everything and we're interconnected with everything in our universe. There's air, ether, fire, water, and earth, and so is inside of us. And so with all of these elements coming together, we each have a particular constitution. So the way Ayurveda helps us understand with purpose and understand in a very systematic way what our constitution is, which we call our prakriti at the time of birth, and what our imbalances today, which we call vikruti, because often unless you are, meditating in the mountains all the time, our current state of being is often very different than what we're supposed to be. And so by balancing our physiology and making sure that we are healthy in that way, we are balanced in that way, we slowly go up the steps of the ladder to then have more self-esteem and understand what why am I here? But before we understand who we are, and before we understand, with all of these techniques, what my constitution is, and just starting with simple things that then can lead us to understand who we are. That's how Ayurveda helps us. In Ayurveda, for example, we have different practices that we do, and one of them is called Abhyanga, and Abhyanga is self massage. So it shows you how to use particular herbs that are cooked in particular oils that are good for your type of constitution, and it shows you how to massage your joints and your entire body. But another name it's called snehana, and snehana means having immense amount of love for oneself. And so by doing this practice on a daily basis, there's something about connecting to our own bodies that then allows us to kind of wake up our bodies, because a lot of times we don't even live in our bodies because our focus is so outside of ourselves. How do I look, or are they liking me, or all of these thoughts that are always focused on outside stuff we will be able to bring back internally. And slowly from the foundation up, and I always say, start right here, right now, not with something, astronomical manifestation of your future. Start from looking at what you're doing on your daily basis. What habits are you actually currently having? Are you lost in your meetings all day? Are you not feeding yourself, or feeding yourself last? Are you not cooking for yourself, or taking care of your own, being first? And from there, it gives you a lot of information to see, if I'm not taking care of myself, how can I have self-esteem? How can I find my dharma? That's on top of the triangle. The bottom is our physiology, our safety. If we don't have that, we can't climb to the top. So Ayurveda really has that system where it helps us slowly come up that ladder.
That's beautiful. And so do you have to work like a practitioner to work with someone? Because how would I know what oils or herbs?
Yes, absolutely. And that's another thing. If you want to heal yourself, in a sense that if there's something wrong, you don't just start healing yourself by Googling things. I mean, some people do, but I don't recommend it. And in the same way, I had this one woman, she really wanted to book a session with me, and she kept contacting me. And then she kept saying, but I can do that myself. And I said, can you? Because you haven't done it. It's been like, you've been contacting me for a year now, and you think you can do it yourself. Sometimes we need a professional, to help us. And so, yes, I would really recommend finding an Ayurvedic practitioner, or someone who has the appropriate certifications for being a health or wellness coach, that has the knowledge of Ayurveda or whatever other techniques you want to use to help you. And it's just the whole thing of like having someone else beside us hold our hand and guide us through this healing that is really, really powerful. We're just human beings. We're not supposed to do things alone. So it's a really powerful process.
Right. Yeah, that sounds beautiful. Yeah, we're all here for a reason together. And so let's work with each other and connect. And that makes perfect sense. You know, a lot of women are on this journey to reclaim their innate wisdom. What would you suggest that people, how would they do that using Ayurveda?
Yeah, so I would suggest, like I said, getting in touch with a professional, and starting to know, because the Ayurvedic practitioners are able to, after a session, like a thorough session of about 90 minutes, from the way we talk and walk, and from the way you're telling your story, and by looking at the tongue and reading the pulse, we're able to know what the constitution is. So that would be step number one. And then we're able to tell, because of the whatever is going on at the moment and all the imbalances, what is the imbalance, what is the vikruti, and then it's the job of the practitioner to take you from your imbalance to your balanced state. And that process usually takes, depending on what the person is going through and what their goals are, what if they want to really go up the steps of finding their dharma and their purpose. It takes about 12 to 16, 24 weeks sometimes. I have developed a program, and it has 12 pillars. And the reason why I created the pillars is because I really noticed that all of these women that were coming to me, we were all kind of needing to be reminded of these pillars and taught these pillars. So my approach is that I teach my women so much about themselves and so much about the process of what to do from here on, that they can then be empowered and do it on our own. It's not something that, it's a root of your being. It's not something that, here is a band-aid, take it, and then you will need me again. It's like, once you go through that process and learn about the 12 pillars and go through the 12 pillars, then you have the knowledge and the foundation to just go up from there. It's a really transformative process.
I love it. Wow, that's wonderful. Well, and Paris, this has been great. Lots of great information is here for us that you have shared, and I really appreciate it. I know that you have a gift for our listeners. Can you tell us what that gift is and where we can find it, and also learn more about you?
Yes, absolutely. So if our listeners would like to go to my website, it's my first and last name. So it's parismoghtader.com. And on there, what the gift that I have for them is half an hour of free coaching with me. And the way they can find that, if they just go to the services page, it's right there for them. And they can book a time that is good for them. And I would be so happy to connect.
Wonderful. I love it. Well, Paris, this has been great. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you decided to join this alignment project and share your story in the book as well. Your chapter is beautiful. I've read it. It's very empowering and inspiring. So I appreciate that you shared your journey in there. And this has been great. And so thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you so much, Sue. I'm so excited to be here, and all your help and the team's help to do the book as well. So I really appreciate all your efforts.
You're welcome. It's been an honor and a pleasure. And I will tell you, listeners, this book, you're going to want to buy this book on launch day, which is November 2nd. It's called Women Living in Alignment. It is stories by 20 co-authors who are very amazing women, like Paris and the others on this summit. And so if you want to buy that book on launch day for 99 cents, you can actually buy a Kindle book for 99 cents on our launch day. The paperback book will also be available. But what you'll want to do is go to our website, womenlivinginalignment.com, and we'll guide you to your Amazon page for your country and the at the special price. Also getting in alignment with yourself. And so it's really important that you do that, because we need each of us to do this for ourselves so that we can make the world a better place. So thank you for doing this. And be sure to buy that book on launch day, womenlivinginalignment.com. Thanks, everybody. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.